What is up, guys? Welcome to episode number 136 of Beef's Beef. I have a great interview set up for you guys today with one of my good friends. But before we do that, I want to get to our sponsor. Our sponsor, as always, is Crystal Lackey at Stockton Mortgage. Hit her up for any refinancing or just getting a regular mortgage for your house. Her phone number is 502-615-0743. Again, Crystal Lackey at Stockton Mortgage, 502-615-0743. Stockton Mortgage is an equal housing lender. MLS number 8259. Crystal Lackey, MLS number 1735979. So today's guest is one of my good friends. I've known him my entire life. I met him through my cousin, who actually is his best friend. And he's played professional basketball in over 25 different countries. Not only that, he's succeeded at doing that. He played 2 years at Campbellsville. Was first team NAIA All-American in 1999. USBL finalist for the Oklahoma Storm. 2000 CBA champion. Was the 2002 Player of the Week twice in the CBA. Was the 2003 CBA American Conference regular season champion with the Rockford Lightning. Was the CBA American Conference regular season champion, like I said, was the CBA leading scorer in 2003 at 28.8. The 2009 Honduras Basketball League champion. 2010 Colombia Copa Federation leading scorer at 27.2 points. And 2010 LatinBasketball.com Federation Cup All Imports team and LatinBasketball.com All Colombian Federation Cup first team. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my friend, Mr. David Harrison. What up, Dave? Man, it's been a minute since I seen you.
What's up, man? Long time no see, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you, man. First off, thanks for coming on. I know you're busy. We were just talking beforehand and different stuff you got going on. I appreciate you taking a little time out and doing an interview with me.
Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. You got a good thing going on, man. I'm glad to be a part of it anytime.
For sure. I mean, we've been talking about this really since I started doing the podcast, and it's crazy that a pandemic can finally make things open up for us and be able to take some time away to actually do it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So let's get into the interview, man. I've known you my whole life, but we're going to go all the way back for people that don't even know who you are, because I'm sure there's some people that don't. So you started your career at Moore, which is kind of cool because I actually went and coached back at Moore. Yeah. And something that I didn't know until we were talking before this, I didn't realize you got cut 2 years in a row before finally transferring to Doss.
Yeah.
So did you get cut? I'm gonna compare you to Michael Jordan for a minute, which I saw your watch, so I know you're not gonna be upset about this. Did you getting cut those 2 years kind of fuel your fire, like Michael Jordan did when he got cut as a sophomore?
Man, it definitely did, and it's funny you say that. And just obviously everybody, I'm sure, has just watched The Last Dance. So it's funny, man. Just growing up, man. I was Michael Jordan fanatic.
Yeah.
I knew everything about him. It was just all of us were as kids coming up in that era. If you wanted to play basketball, and just knowing his story, and then it kind of happening to me. I get cut my sophomore year, and that kind of put a little fuel on the fire. But at the same time, maybe I wasn't good enough, and I could accept that because I was just now coming into myself, growing up. So I played the freshman year, but I didn't start or anything. So I'm just coming into myself. But then I really, I had a passion for the game, and my junior year came along, had that whole summer to get ready. Like, I'm ready now. The fuel is on the fire.
Yeah.
I got cut again.
Man.
So that was just like, man, I really tried this time. I thought I was it, So it's just that whole Michael Jordan thing, and knowing that it happened to Mike, that kind of give you some inspiration.
So what made you choose Doss? Was it was Tony still there? Or?
Yeah, Tony was there. Tony was a freshman, man. But it's a funny thing, man. So I'm sure you may be familiar with Farmdale. Okay. Farmdale Church, right across the street from Moore High School.
Yeah.
So when I got cut that year, that's where I played basketball at. I would go sit in there, man, and have $2 in my pocket. Hopefully I can play with some of the guys who's renting the gym, just to get some run. And it's right up the street from my house, where me and Jerry live, right there in Derby Run. And I was just playing with some older guys one day, man, at think I was 16 years old, 15 years old, and the guy was like, "Hey, man, you pretty good. Who you play for?" I was like, "I don't play for anybody. I go to Moore, but I got cut." He was like, "You got cut?" He was like, "Man, I played at Doss, man. I know a coach over there, man. You need to be playing ball, man." And I was like, I mean, I didn't. I guess I'm not gonna be a basketball player. I like to play, but I got cut. So he was like, "What's your phone number?" Gave my phone number. He reached out to me. I let my mom talk to him on the phone. My mom was not trying to hear that. Like, I'm not a basketball player to her because I'm getting cut. I'm not on a team. I just like
Yeah.
to play. So it's not nothing serious, But I'm taking it serious. So that guy convinced my mom, man, to give me an opportunity to transfer to Doss. The coach just took that guy's word, and that guy's name was Marcus. I'll never forget. Still a good friend of mine. And then that's just when the story began. I got an opportunity, and then that's when everything changed.
Nice. So I mentioned Tony Williams, former Louisville player. You guys are actually cousins. I just want to clear that up. Instead of just saying Tony, yeah, you guys are cousins.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, after you played your year at Doss, you went on to Sullivan and took a redshirt year. Was that just kind of like a work, hone your craft, or was it actually just like they didn't have a team? Or
no, actually, I broke my foot the first day of practice.
Oh,
stress fracture. So first day of practice, it's a great team, man. It was actually a championship team that I was on, Sullivan College, man. Great group of guys. I can name some of the guys, man. That was on that team. You wouldn't believe Eric Martin. I know you probably remember Eric Martin. Rashawn Morris is another guy. Adrian Tillman, Danielle Macklin. I'm talking about, man, we had a squad. Judy Hayes. The first day of practice, man, I broke my foot, stress fracture, and I just redshirted from there. So that was my redshirt year at Sullivan.
And then you moved from there to was it Rainy River Community College in Minnesota?
Went there after sitting out a whole year with a red shirt. I just want to play basketball. I got cut every year in high school. Played a year at Doss, got my feet wet. Got a chance to actually play basketball.
Yeah.
Then I go to college. Like, wow, who would ever thought? 1 year of high school basketball, and then I get a college scholarship, break my foot. So now I still haven't played. So now I go to Rainy River and get that opportunity. And
you didn't just play, man. You 35-7 as a
I made a little noise. But I didn't know it was a D3 JUCO. Not taking anything away from Division III JUCOs, but I had no idea. It was just another opportunity for me to get a scholarship after a redshirt year at Sullivan, where I could just play immediately. I just took it, and I was up there playing, man, averaging 34, not really knowing anything about anything. I'm 17, 18 years old, telling my mom, like, I'm not going back. Like, I'm not going back to Rainy River. It's cold. I'm averaging 34 points a game. No coaches are calling. Nobody's going to see me all the way in Minnesota, but I'm clueless. I have no idea how it works. And so I came home Christmas, man, after a semester up there. I came home for that Christmas semester. And I told my mom I wasn't going back. And she said, well, you're getting out of here. You're going somewhere. So I made a highlight tape of my high school, and I sent it to Morehead State, Eastern Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, and Western Kentucky. Got a call from the University of Louisville with an opportunity maybe to walk on. And I also got a call from Morehead State, Dick Fick, and he offered me a scholarship after I went there for a semester, went there for a semester, and then I actually got a college scholarship after that first semester.
So would you say Rainy River, though, was kind of when you started to really figure out yourself and kind of figure out your game, and even if it was against competition that you really didn't think it was at your level?
I think Rainy River was a confidence booster for me. Just to be able to get a chance to finally play. And then, the level wasn't as high as I had just come from, being at a Division I, JUCO Sullivan. I was able to just really find out who I was and what I could really do. So that just gave me a lot of confidence.
So like you said, you went and played 1 year at Morehead. I think you said you averaged 6 points and about 3.5 rebounds.
Yeah.
What made you leave there and move back down to NAIA at Campbellsville?
Just not having my head on right, just to be honest. I was young and just making some mistakes. And I made some mistakes, and those mistakes, cost me my Division I career. So I still, at the same time, I just want to play. Yeah. So me going to NAIA after that allowed me to play immediately.
Nice. So you actually went there and you played for a name that a lot of people in this area will know, Travis Ford. What's crazy is I'm a huge Louisville fan, but growing up, I always saw Travis Ford on TV. He's actually who I modeled shooting my free throws after. I just remember watching him. I'm like, this guy always makes free throws. Maybe I should shoot like him. So what was it like playing for him? Because I mean, I met him one time at an AAU event and watched him play. What was it like playing for him?
It was awesome, man. It was awesome playing for Travis Ford because he was young. He was just now coming out of his college career. Um, so it was like a player. He was like a player coach. You know,
Yeah.
he was still competitive, still young, still had that fire coming from his college career, just the Patino system and just that whole UK. He brought that to Campbellsville, and I just happened to be there at the time, and it's just me and him just clicked. You know, just player coach. It was just a great bond that we had, a great trust that we had. So man, it was phenomenal to get opportunity to play for Travis.
I got it. How did it feel to score over 1,000 points in just 2 seasons?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great, man. You know, just like I say, it was just all about confidence. You know, just having the trust from my teammates, the trust that the coach put in me, and then you know, just being able to be out there and just having that confidence, man. It was awesome. It was really awesome.
So when I was doing some research with you, or on you, I looked up some stuff and I read somewhere that you scored 60 and 24 in a game at Campbellsville. First off, who was that against? And second off, what part of the game did you realize, okay, yeah, this is my night. I'm pretty much going to take over the entire game.
Man, that was my senior year at Campbellsville, having a pretty good year. We played a team in Chicago. So, I mean, you know what that means.
Yeah.
Going to Chicago, I wear number 23. I play in Jordans. I grew up wanting to be like Mike, like every kid who came up in my era. And we ate at Michael Jordan's restaurant. That was our pregame. And I knew then. I knew then. Just the whole day, just like being in Chicago, you know, eating at his restaurant, pregame meal. I knew that I was going to have a good game. I didn't know it was going to be 60, but I knew I was going to have a good game, man. And it just turned out.
Well, not only that, I mean, you're a 6'4" guard and you got 24 rebounds.
Yeah.
It's insane. This is the part that like really sticks out to me, like when I start remembering stuff about you when I was a kid, because I remember like Jerry Lee would tell me stuff and everything on like how kind of you were doing, and I remember you being at Campbellsville, but this is the part that I remember because I was like, I know somebody that's about to get drafted, and you entered your name in the 1999 NBA draft.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What was that process like, and did you work out for some teams and do interviews with some teams? And if you did, what were the workouts like, and who did you do interviews for?
I was with right after the draft, right after draft night, I went to Seattle. That was my first NBA experience. After Chicago pre-draft, after the NBA draft, I went to Chicago. I went to Seattle, and you know, coming from Campbellsville, small town, Louisville, Kentucky kid,
Yeah.
you know, Moorhead, Campbellsville. So me being in Seattle in that situation, I was in awe. You know, it's like a dream come true.
Yeah.
So I don't think I really took advantage of the situation at the time. I was just more kind of like, I'm here.
Oh man, I made it.
I remember Cliff Rozier was in camp with me, and just coming from Louisville, him playing, being a Louisville player, I'm like, man, you know, I'm ready to make it to the NBA. It was just like, so I know being young now, just thinking back on it, you know, it was a great experience, man. Just that whole thing. I just remember being just like a kid at Disney World, man. My first experience with the NBA team. But I was probably with I'll say, maybe about 10 NBA teams. Just flying in, working out with teams, being in vet camp with some teams, you know. But then when I was doing that, I was what was called a tweener. You know, I'm a scorer. I'm a 6'4" guard, 2 guard. You know, my job was to score the ball. But then, you know, if you were 6'4", you're playing the point.
Yeah.
No experience at playing the point. So every NBA team I went to, they put me at the point. And, you know, first couple of years of that experience, it was just kind of uncomfortable for me being a point guard. But now, you know, tweeners is what, you know, every position.
Absolutely.
So it's a little different now.
Absolutely. So when you were going into the NBA draft that night, was there a team that you were for sure thought like, yeah, they're going to draft me? Like you thought they were going to draft you?
Yeah, I thought it would have been Seattle, and then Washington Bullets.
So
the Washington Bullets at the time. No, Yeah, I think it was the Washington Bullets at the time.
That shows not your age, man. You can't be
Yeah,
showing your age on here.
no, right? I'm like, wow, the Bullets, the Wizards. It's
So
funny.
was there? I don't, you always hear about during these interview processes that they got these like weird questions and stuff, and they're like crazy. Was there any interview questions that you can remember that was like, why would you ask that?
Uh, nah, I don't think anything really sticks out. Nothing sticks out in particular. It was more basically like a job interview.
Yeah.
Just kind of trying to get a feel for your personality, kind of who you are, what you like. I didn't get any weird questions. So,
They always talk about like how they'll ask about like the people you hang around and stuff, and
yeah.
some teams won't even draft a guy because they see what type of group he hangs out with and everything, and it's crazy. But you think about it, and it's like, well, you are investing a lot of money into this person. You probably should know everything about
Right, right. I do. I get it. I get it. It's big business, man. But yeah, I don't remember anything crazy, nothing out of the ordinary that I can think of.
them. Yeah. So from there, you ended up settling on the CBA, which
Hmm.
was at that point was owned by a guy that's all in the news again with the especially the stuff that came out yesterday
Yeah.
with the Jordan and the Dream Team stuff.
Hmm.
It was the CBA was owned by Isaiah Thomas.
Hmm. Hmm.
I got to know you got any Zeke stories like from like, any like one-on-one like contact with him or anything?
Nah, I don't have any Zeke stories, man. The only Zeke story I got is him giving us that trophy, man, when we won that CBA championship my rookie year.
Yeah, one thing I do remember though, speaking of Zeke, is his former teammate, and I remember hearing a story about you and Rick Mahorn.
Yeah.
I, I gotta get you to tell that story on here because I just remember when I was a kid and knowing who Rick Mahorn was. I gotta get you to tell that story about Rick Mahorn.
Yeah, so I remember, man, just my rookie year, man, we played against, man, I don't know if it was Grand Rapids or Sioux Falls. We playing against another CBA team, and Rick Mahorn was the coach. So the whole time, I was just like, man, it's Rick Mahorn down there. He's part of the Bad Boys. I came up
Yeah,
on him. This is awesome. I'm still in awe, man. So my rookie
yeah,
year, it's just like it's just still all amazing to me. It's a dream come true. So after the game, we won the game, and we're going down, shaking hands with the team. And then I get up to Rick Mahorn. I couldn't wait to get to him just to get a chance to shake his hand and just be like, hey, man, like, I probably wouldn't have said nothing. I just wanted to shake his hand like, that's Rick
yeah,
Mahorn.
yeah.
He was sitting down. He never stood up off the seat. And I reached my hand out to shake his hand. And I'm not going to even tell you what he said to me. I'm not going to even tell you what he said to me, but basically told me if I don't get it out of his face, and I just kindly was like, okay, get out of his face. But I'll never forget that, man. Just a funny story. It's just kind of one of my first stories, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So you lived in what more than 25 different countries, which was crazy to read. Because I do remember, again, I'm going to keep reminiscing with this because as a kid, I was always with Jerry Lee and he was always telling me about different things and keeping me updated as much as he could.
Hmm.
I didn't realize that you played in over 25 different countries and played in over 700 pro games.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, if you had to rank, I know this is tough to do because you played in so many. If you had to rank the top two and the bottom two, which ones were your top two favorites and which ones were your bottom two least favorite? And not necessarily where because you lived there, maybe just because you didn't like the league, or maybe it was because you didn't like to live there.
I would have to say my top two would have to be Italy and France. And the
Nice,
reason I say that is because in France, I got the opportunity to play with Tony Williams, my little cousin.
nice.
He was a pro, I was a pro, and we used to always talk about, man, it'd be so cool to get to play together. He's enjoying his career in some beautiful country, and I'm somewhere else enjoying my career. But we would always connect when we came home, and we always stayed in touch while we were gone. And it was just always, we would always just joke and talk about like, man, what if? And it
Yeah,
actually got an opportunity to happen, and we got to play a season together in France for Rome. So just having family there and just experiencing the whole lifestyle with Tony, man, it was incredible. And then also in Italy, he played for Bologna, and I played for Rimini, and we were 45 minutes from each other, playing in the same league. So
nice.
if I wasn't at his house, he was at my house. It's Louisville to Lexington.
Yeah,
So it was just, so those two countries definitely stick out the most. And you say the worst two, man, it's tough. Um, wow. I would probably have to say my worst experience maybe was Poland, and I say that because it was my first experience. So I'm a kid. I'm young. All I want is McDonald's. You know, I'm not eating any of their food. I'm not touching any of their food. So and I say that was my worst experience because I was so young and I didn't
Yeah,
take advantage of my blessing, so to
yeah,
say. Because as I got older, every country I went to, I wanted to experiment with the town and the people and eat the foods and do different things like that. But early on in my career, I didn't do those things, so it made it difficult living outside the country because I wasn't embracing it.
absolutely. Yeah. But did you have another one, or is that just really the only one that really sticks out?
Uh, Honduras was pretty tough. You
Yeah, I mean,
know,
you always hear of like mission trips and stuff going there, so it doesn't really sound like a country that would be really flourishing enough to have a basketball league.
yeah, it was pretty tough, man. And it was just a time where I was home. I just happened to be home in the summer, and a guy that played in the league over there gave me a call and told me that there was some championship or something going on, man, and they was looking for a guard. The guy they had got hurt. He said, "Man, we're in the playoffs, and this is what they'll pay you." I said, "Wait a minute." He said, "Yeah, man, we got like 2 weeks of playoffs, 3 weeks of playoffs, and then it's probably about 2 weeks of the series if we make it to the championship, and this is what your bonus would be." Like, man, come over here. I told him I played with you. They told me to get somebody, so I went, and I enjoyed it. But it was just it's just a third world country. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
You just kind of got to watch where you're going. So I ain't gonna say it was a bad country, but it was just a different experience.
So my buddy that normally does the podcast with me, he had to work. Uh, he's taken some trips to like China and stuff, and he told me about how he would just be walking through China and people would think he was a celebrity because my buddy's 6'6". Did you get that? Did you get that same experience in other countries?
Everywhere, everywhere, man. I embraced it. I loved it.
Be honest. Did you ever tell people you were somebody else?
I didn't have to.
You
They knew who I was. I mean, I'm in the town, and they know who the American is. They know what he's there for. And if they didn't know, I made sure they knew.
Yeah. So in 2000, you mentioned you won the CBA championship with the Yakima Sun Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then in 2003, you led the league in scoring at 28.8 points per game while playing for the Rockford Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any big name guys you faced off with or played with in the CBA that like some of the listeners would know, like maybe it played in the NBA?
Roger Bell, we was teammates. Ray Cunningham from Louisville, Kentucky, was a teammate of mine. Ronnie Fields,
Okay.
teammate. I actually got a chance to play with Dewan Wheat before in CBA. Played against Dewan Wheat. My first CBA game was against Dewan Wheat. He was playing for maybe the Idaho Stampede, maybe. Not sure exactly what team he was playing for, but my first CBA game, I remember meeting him at half court and shaking his hand like, "Man, I just want to let you know that I grew up watching you. I'm a fan of yours, and I'm a rookie. We've been in the league for a while, been in the NBA." I said, "You might not even know who I am." He said, "I know who you are," and that made my day.
Yeah.
We know who I am, and he don't know this. He might know this if he see this, but that made my day as a rookie. Get my professional stint. But yeah, man, those are some of the names. I actually played with Ronnie Fields. I don't know if I mentioned Ronnie. I played with Ronnie. There's a lot of names, man. A lot of talent in the CBA when I was coming up.
Nice. So, what would you say was the roughest league you played in, as far as like you mentioned the Bad Boys earlier. Was there a league where you felt like, man, I need to go like Jordan did that off season and really beef up, and because these dudes are rougher than I thought they would be.
I'm gonna have to say the CBA because you got guys that played years in the NBA that they might come down to the CBA, trying to get back to the NBA. Then you got young guys like myself trying to get to the NBA. So their league was just so competitive and so tough and physical, and they let us play.
Yeah.
Outside the country, I would have to say maybe Venezuela is a very, very, very physical league. Um, I definitely remember sometimes in Venezuela they kind of got out of hand, but I just got to say the CBA just because of where we're trying to go. You know, we're either trying to get big contracts outside the country or we're trying to get to the NBA, which is the ultimate goal. So that league was definitely the most competitive, most physical, and toughest league that I played.
So was that? It sounds like a lot of those teams are now the G League teams.
Absolutely.
So did the G League buy out a lot of those teams, or did it just kind of conform into the G League? And then, because I feel like the CBA is back around again, so it may just kind of like the XFL did, where it lost some of its team and it just came back around again.
Yeah, I think when the CBA folded is when Isaiah took the coaching job at the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah.
So the CBA folded at that time, and then the D League got a couple of other cities, and then those towns that had CBA teams, they just transformed their team from CBA teams to the D League. So that's why you still have some of those CBA teams that are still participating.
So outside of the CBA, because I mean, now that you're breaking it down like that, it sounds like that's pretty much just like you're saying the G League. What would you say is the most competitive and toughest league you played in, as far as like you knew every night, like, okay, I'm gonna have to bring it because I got to get my team to the next level?
Outside the CBA?
Yeah, outside of the CBA, because it sounds like that was easily the best league you played in.
I would probably say Italy or France. Italy or France is just, those are just top leagues. You know, in Italy, top league in France. It's just very competitive. Some of the best players that are not in the NBA playing in those leagues. And then you got French guys that are locals that can really go and might be getting looked at by the NBA. And it's the same thing in Italy. You know, you got some Italian guys from other countries, not only from the U.S., but from, you know, maybe Argentina, other places like that, that can really play. So those are two countries that I would say that was very competitive.
So you played. I didn't put this on here, but this is just something I just thought of. So playing in over 25 different countries, you can play. That's obvious. That shows with what you averaged and how you scored. How tough was it to really get a part of the game plan, though, with the language barrier in some of these countries?
In the beginning, it was tough. Coming out in '99, you know, it was just a little tougher than it is than it was later on in my career. But one thing that I always say is basketball is a game that's universal.
Yeah.
You know, like regardless what language you speak, man, we know what job needs to get done and we know how to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, no matter no country I played in, the language barrier was never a problem when it comes to teammates.
Absolutely.
You know, we can get on the same page without even really speaking the same language because, you know, it's one goal that we all have in common.
For sure. So after you retired, you finally retired in what, 2012? Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
2012. You took an assistant coaching job for a women's team at Bristol Community College in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
And what now coaching men and women? What would you say is the biggest difference in coaching?
Fundamentals. I think the biggest difference I see is the fundamentals. You know, girls are really, really fundamentally sound. You know, guys are not as fundamental as girls because we can rely on athletic ability a little more.
Yeah.
You know, so it kind of makes up for a lack of fundamentals. But some of these girls, man, it's very impressive the stuff that they can do, and it's good. It's fun to watch just because of the fundamentals. You know, I'm a student of the game as well as yourself. You know, so we like to see the game played the right way and just being broken down. You know, so it was fun coaching girls. But that's the difference that I see, just the fundamentals in it.
That's one thing that I've heard, and I've also heard that they listen better as well.
Yeah, they do.
I heard they because I've never coached a women's team, so I couldn't tell. That's why I asked the question. Because you always hear that they just comprehend things a lot more. They really soak it in whenever you tell them something.
They do, more receptive for sure. That would be the second thing that I would say.
So after that, you went back and you coached under your former coach, Travis Ford at EKU. This is when I remember seeing you. I think I actually sent you the picture whenever you were coaching against UK. Took a picture of you on TV and sent you the picture.
Yeah.
What did you learn coaching under him again, under your short stint with him at EKU?
Actually, at EKU, I was under Jeff Neubauer.
Oh, so he was already – okay.
Yeah, so Travis was already gone. I believe Travis may have been either at St. Louis or maybe Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
But I was under Neubauer, and I just learned the game. I learned the game from the sideline.
Yeah.
That makes sense to you.
Because you knew it from the court, but seeing it from a different perspective it's totally different. That's why, because you see a lot of these guys, like I'm trying to think of somebody. Isaiah Thomas was actually a decent coach, but you see some of these guys that were great players, but they're not great coaches because
Right.
they don't know how to turn off that competitive edge of, okay, this is how I should do, but they can't explain it.
Exactly, man. And I learned that at EKU, you know, being under Coach Neubauer was a great coach, man. Great coach. I learned a lot. And me being at the age that I was at helped as well, you know. And it was just a good experience, man. You mentioned Kentucky, man. Who would ever thought that I'd be coaching against the #1 team in the country,
Yeah.
my state team, you know. Like, I'm a Louisville fan, obviously, but, you know, University of Kentucky, you got to respect them.
Yeah.
Just to get the opportunity to coach against that team, man, and being rough like that and that, it was electrifying, man.
So how long did you end up staying at EKU?
I was there for 1 year.
1 year, and then that's when you left and went to ASA?
Yep. Came down here to
So,
Atlanta, man.
so you're now the president and CEO of it's Action Sports Academy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Action Sports Academy, ASA for short. Kind of give us the story of how ASA started and how you came to be involved with it.
Yeah, well, so when the situation at EKU, man, our head coach, Jeff Neubauer, took another job after that season that we had at Eastern Kentucky. He went to Fordham, and he only took one coach with him. So the rest of us, as a coaching staff, had to figure it out. And I got the opportunity to come to Atlanta to be a head coach, to continue my coaching resume, hopefully to get back to Division I level.
Yeah.
When I got here, it was just me getting introduced to post-grad. It was already a post-grad situation. ASA had probably been around about 4 or 5 years. And I came here, took the job, and everything went well. Had a great season. Sent every kid that came through the program to college that first year, so that was awesome. And then after that season, the guy that I came down here to work for said that he wasn't going to move forward with the program. But I was like, well, you know, I've kind of got us scheduled for next year under the name, and kind of recruiting some kids under the name. Is it okay if I continue to use the name? And we just, you know, so we signed some paperwork where he didn't owe me anything, but I could use the name. So what I did is I did my due diligence and went on the Secretary of State, and I seen that the name had exhausted, and it was just out there for the taking. So I put it in my name, and I just tried it to do it on my own, just to keep the program going. And now here we are 4 years later, 5 years later.
So explain what you guys do for not only the athletes' athletic career, but for them academically as well. Because you sent me a pamphlet, which whenever I release this, I can release that out if you want and put it out with the post, or if you want me to put something else with it, be more than happy to put that on there with it. But kind of explain what you guys do for them, because some people don't really understand the post-grad type of stuff, and they don't really get what it is. I have a buddy that I've had on my podcast that I've kind of gotten you guys in contact with a little bit that does post-grad as well, but kind of explain what you guys do, not only for their athletic career, but for their academic career as well.
Okay, so what we do for guys academically is we have them come in and we SAT and ACT prep, and we have them take the SAT and ACT while they're in our program until they get a qualifying score. And the program is 6 months, October 1st to April 1st.
Okay.
Then we also give these athletes an option to take 2 college courses. They can only take 2 each semester. And it's 2 semesters that they'll be in the program within that 6 months. And the reason why they can only take 2 is because once you take more than 2 classes, you consider full-time, and then your eligibility clock will start to tick. Gotcha. We don't want that to happen. So by them taking 2 classes, optional, they can leave a post-grad situation with 12 credit hours and have already taken their core classes, like maybe their English, their basic math class that they'll have to take. And those classes also will transfer with them wherever they get their college scholarship. Yeah. So that's basically the only academic components that we have. We also have the TOEFL for our international players. Our international players come over and they take the TOEFL as a test that they have to take. And that's all the academic components that we have in the program.
So when you signed that paperwork and you got the, ASA put to you, did you really feel like you knew what you were putting yourself into? Like, do you think it was like now? Are you like, man, I've come a long way because I did not realize it was going to be this much of an undertaking?
I had a vision, and before my season was over, when I took the job, when I first got here, my first season, before that season was over, I had seen the vision that I wanted for this program, and I put it on paper, and I came up with a business plan, and I actually took it to him. And I said, hey, man, I've been doing this for about half a season now, and, I've met some guys who are doing post-grad because, like I say, I was new to it.
Yeah.
Some of the guys that I met, they kind of told me a few things, and this, with my professional background and some of the connections and networking that I have, I'm like, man, we can really turn this into something. So I just presented my business plan to him, and he just didn't. It just didn't work out. I guess he just wasn't feeling it. So when we did go our separate ways, I'm like, hey man, I got this business plan that I wrote for this other guy.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna go with it. This is the vision that I have. So, I kind of knew that it would take some time to get here, but I'm close to where I want to be with this program for sure.
So how many different academies are there now, and where are all the locations at?
So right now we have 2. We're working on the 3rd, which will be in Tampa, Florida. So we have Atlanta, Georgia. Then we have Louisville, Kentucky, this upcoming 2020-21 season. And hopefully Tampa, Florida in 2020-21 season. But with the pandemic, it's kind of put a little pause in the Tampa situation. But we're working on it.
So if you had to say, all right, I'm the president and CEO, what would you say is the main goal of ASA? And then what all also off of that, what all sports do you guys offer as well outside of basketball?
So our main goal is to get these young men and women free education. That's what we're selling, free education. We take athletes that didn't get a scholarship for whatever reason. Academics got overlooked, maybe had an injury, transferred from one state, maybe an international guy who lives in the UK and nobody ever gets the chance to see your talent.
Yeah.
So we get people like that exposure, and with that exposure, we're able to find unsigned seniors college scholarships somewhere. We're going to get your education paid for, and while you're getting your education, you're going to be able to experience playing college basketball at the same time. So that's our goal. And if anybody is blessed to take this opportunity and turn it into a professional career, they can also come back through ASA, which is now Action Sports Agency. And
oh, wow.
We will help you find a job overseas. We'll represent you, or we'll represent you in the NBA. If your talents can take you there, we'll, and if you're not going to play basketball after you left ASA, Action Sports Academy, went to college, you graduated in your field, you come back through ASA, and we will resume build for you, and we will headhunt for you and try to find you a job in your career field. But while we're trying to find you a job, you can work in one of our programs.
Wow, so, that's something that I did not know.
Yeah. And that's the vision that I had from the beginning, and now it's all coming together, man. We just keep it. Whatever kid comes through this program, whatever athlete comes through this program, we just keep them. It's a lifetime thing.
So I have a question for you. So you just mentioned that Action Sports Agency thing. Do you all strictly only represent players that have come through there or athletes that have come through there, or do you guys represent other people?
As of right now, we're just representing athletes that come through Action Sports Academy. It's just starting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're just now starting to grow it. My first group of athletes that I've had are graduating this year.
Nice.
So my first group, they went through my program. They went through 4 years of college, and now they're coming out now. But with this pandemic, it's kind of everything is up in the air right now. But so we in the future would definitely be representing other athletes outside of Action Sports Academy.
Nice. So what all sports do you guys offer at the academies?
So right now we have basketball, and this summer we were bringing in baseball, but looks like our summer is not gonna.
Yeah. So is that men's? That's men's and women's basketball.
We just have men's basketball right now, and then we'll have men's baseball, and then we're going to try to do soccer.
Okay.
Soccer, and then eventually we're going to try to do women's volleyball. So we're just going to try to branch out. That'll take some time just to kind of get all these sports that we're trying to do, but we're definitely going to get there.
Yeah. So you mentioned you're opening starting this year the academy here in Louisville. Are you guys partnering with a local high school?
Actually, no, we're not, because all of our athletes are graduated from high school.
I got you.
So we're going to do post-grad.
I got you. So where are you guys? Where's yours? I guess home building. I guess where are you all be at?
We're going to try to work out of brain freeze. What's the gym? I can't believe Academy. Not basketball academy. Mid America.
Mid America. Okay. Yeah.
Grew up playing there. So that'll probably be the facility that we use for our home games where we'll practice, where we work the guys out at.
And I guess most of them will just live in and off. I mean, in an area around that place, I guess.
Well, we definitely have housing for those who need it, located close to about a gym.
Nice. So, what all will, I guess, when it first starts, what all will the Louisville campus offer? Is it just strictly basketball? And are there any local guys that maybe some people will know their names that will be involved with it to start it?
Well, right now we're just putting the roster together right now as we speak. So we don't. We got about 5 or 6 guys that have already committed. I don't want to say anybody's names.
Yeah, I was more meaning towards the like the staff part of it, because I know you can't really mention players' names with not being able to sign and everything.
Yeah, so we're working. I'm working with Tony Williams. He's going to have a lot to do with the program. Ray Cunningham, working real close with him. Hopefully, get Dion Lee involved. Another really good friend of mine. So just trying to put some names together that have basketball reputation in the city.
Yeah, Dion Lee's a big name in this area. Well, he trains a lot of local athletes, I see.
Absolutely. So I definitely will been in contact with him just to kind of have him be a part of what we're trying to do, because we're trying to do something big. You know, me being from Louisville, trying to get the guys that I'm trying to get involved. I think we can really do something special for the young and upcoming athletes in our city. Have something right there at home for those guys, getting the best training and development that they can possibly get. We'll probably play a 30 to 40 game college schedule. Teams like Campbellsville, Lindsey Wilson, Vincennes, we'll try to get teams like that on our schedule. So, I think it's going to be a big smash in Louisville.
Awesome. I mean, it won't hurt. This area, growing up here, this area loves basketball. They'll go out and watch basketball in the park. Mm-hmm. It's just the way it is here. Like people think that Louisville and this area is just a bunch of like hillbilly people. Oh man, we love basketball. We know basketball. We know good basketball when we see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's all the questions, but I got rapid fire questions for you, man. So
I am ready.
You familiar with rapid fire questions? I shoot you a question. You say the first thing that comes to your mind.
All right.
All right. So there's going to be some funny ones here. There's a lot of food related ones though, because we got a lot of people that listen that have that's like the strongest opinion is stuff on food.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So first one though, favorite shoe on and off the court all the time.
Air Jordans, baby.
Which ones do you play in on the court normally?
Oh man, just how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I'm feeling. If I ain't feeling good that day, I might play in my flu games. It just depends on how I'm feeling and how am I feeling today. Yeah, but definitely Air Jordans.
I can't let you cop out though. You got to give me at least a favorite one off court all the time, because I know my favorite Jordans are the Bread 13s. So I got to. What's your favorite Jordan of all time?
I'm gonna have to go with the same bread.
Nice.
Leather.
Yes.
Yeah, gotta go with
so,
that.
All right, wings or burgers?
Wings.
I'm right there with you. Favorite movie of all time? Scarface. Nice. All right, so you pick 3 people to have dinner with. They can be dead or alive. Who do you choose?
Man, that's a good question. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jackson.
That's a good group, man. That is a good group. All right, favorite TV show ever?
Martin, baby.
Martin, great choice. Favorite car of all time?
Cadillac.
Best gift you've ever received?
My child.
Wow, that's a great answer. All right, favorite pizza topping?
Hamburger.
What's crazy is I'm going to stop real quick because I sent these questions to Jerry Lee before I did this. He is honestly, like literally verbatim said almost all of these.
That's my guy.
He said 2 of them for the favorite pizza topping though. What would be the second?
Pepperoni.
He missed that part. He said hamburger and onion.
Hamburger and onions. All right, then you know what? Yeah, hamburger and onion. I didn't think. Yeah, hamburger and onion for sure.
That's crazy, guys. Sorry. All right.
Onions one of my favorite foods.
What is?
Onions.
Onions aren't bad, man. As I've gotten older, man, it's become something that I've liked.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
All right, favorite restaurant in Louisville?
Bootleg barbecue.
All right. Let's go favorite restaurant altogether. Just anywhere you've been.
Man, it was a restaurant when I played in Italy that I could go to eat for free. And when I tell you, man, that restaurant was just the best restaurant I've ever been in. It was a blessing to be able to go there. They would bring you they bring you some cheese, and then they'll bring you salad, and they'll bring you a spaghetti, and then they'll bring you your full course, and then they'll bring you coffee. I mean, it was just,
So it's an authentic Olive Garden, is what it is, pretty much.
oh, man. And I don't even remember the name of it. I wish I did. Tony might know, though, because we would go there all the time.
All right. Best wing spot in Louisville, in your opinion?
Bootleg.
Bootleg barbecue. Best pizza spot in Louisville, in your opinion?
Wicks.
Wicks. Okay. What's funny is Larry O'Bannon said the same thing. When you come back to Louisville, I'm going to show you some good pizza spots if that's your favorite spot. Because I will open your eyes with some pizza spots if you think Wicks is the best.
Name one. I might know.
Danny Mac's is one. That's a more recent one. Diorio's is one. Right down the street from Wicks, right there on Bardstown Road.
Okay.
And Pelizeri's on Bardstown Road is another good one.
Nice.
Of course, Barano's. Barano's I wouldn't really consider top-notch up there, but Diorio's and Danny Mac's are two of my favorite ones that a lot of people – Diorio's is getting pretty popular here now, but Danny Mac's has just come out in the past couple of years.
Okay, you gotta take me, man. I'm gonna check it out.
For sure. All right, you're eating wings. Which one you like better, drums or flats?
Drums.
Drums. Okay. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
I would have to say cookies and cream.
Okay. All right. Here's one I didn't put on here, but I'm gonna throw you this one real quick. You got start one, bench one, and cut one. All right. MJ, Kobe, LeBron.
I got cut one, bench one, and start one.
Yep.
That's easy. Start Mike.
Okay.
Benching Kobe. LeBron got to go.
Oh man,
LeBron got to go.
All right. So this is the most important question that we ask the entire time, every time in rapid fire questions. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Not at all.
Well, I can say we definitely agree on that one. I can't say I agree with you on the start, bench, and cut, but I can tell you I definitely agree with you on the pineapple one.
Who you starting and benching and cutting?
You're gonna kill me for this. I'm starting LeBron. I'm benching Jordan. I'm cutting Kobe. But here's the thing with the Jordan and LeBron debate. I'm not one of those LeBron fans that thinks that there's not a debate there at all. Because I could definitely to me, it's like the Montana Brady debate. Like I can see both sides of it. Like I can honestly say, yeah, I see. I'm not one of those. Nope, this is dead set on how it is. It's just it's my opinion. You know what I mean? But I will say this: I don't think Kobe belongs in the conversation with either one of them. I really don't. And some people may look at me as bad as saying that, but I don't think Kobe, a guy that didn't win the Finals MVP when he won all of his championships. Like to me, if you're going to be that guy, you should win the Finals MVPs on your championship teams.
That's a good point. You got a good point. So tell me why you would start him over Jordan.
Why I would start LeBron over Jordan?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the versatility with LeBron. LeBron can literally guard 1 through 5. He's a better passer. Jordan's definitely a better scorer. If you want to really put it that, Jordan always looked to score where LeBron always looks to facilitate.
Yeah.
And some people look at that as a bad thing. But then when it comes down to, winning games, and it was funny to me that during the Last Dance, a lot of times they praise Jordan for the times that he did pass the ball. But when LeBron does it, it's looked at as a bad thing. That was something that I thought was kind of funny because they brought up like, oh, here's where he started and I brought it up to my buddy. I was like, I kind of felt like the evolution of LeBron and MJ's games were reversed.
Yeah.
LeBron came into the game. He was already looking to facilitate. And then once he got to Miami and started feeling all that hatred, it was like, I just need to start killing people.
Start scoring.
Jordan came in, scoring, got Pippen, got a few other pieces, got Paxson, Horace Grant. And then he started learning, okay, these guys can play with me. Mm-hmm. It was weird how seeing these guys' games evolutionize in opposite directions, but it's still going towards the same thing.
Right. Makes sense, man. You got a good argument, man. But you know me, I'm old school, and I think it's just I'm gonna have to just my era.
Yeah.
And one thing that I can kind of take it back a little bit, but because I think LeBron could play back then because of his size and just the attributes that he have. But man, it was physical. It was
Yeah.
physical. And I think back when Jordan played, the league was full of men. You know, in this league, it's a lot of kids. It's a lot of kids. So you got a man like LeBron who is just playing with a group of kids. He's gonna dominate. And you put that same guy with a group of grown men and have it a little bit, the rules a little different, changes things, you know. But we'll
Yeah.
never know because you can never put them. You know what I'm saying? But that's a good argument you got, man. I'm gonna have to take that to the barber shop.
For sure, man. Trust me, dude. Because I grew up. I mean, I got the magazine right here. I just ordered the Jordan GOAT magazine. Like that's the thing. Growing up around you all, like I had no choice but to love Michael Jordan,
Right.
and I did anyway. But the way you all grew up with Jordan, I grew up with LeBron. Like I grew up with him because I remember being in 6th and 7th grade and seeing LeBron play in high school on TV, and I was just like, enamored, and it's just like just seeing the things that he's done and kind of growing with him, like you all grew with MJ. Like that's just kind of the way yeah. That's just and that's the thing is I still respect MJ, and I still think like that's not a dumb argument to have. Like if you want to say MJ is the greatest, I mean, in my opinion, if you want to start a team with either player, I really don't think you're gonna have a bad team.
You can't go wrong, man. We had this debate all the time, and I never knocked LeBron James. I love him actually. I think he's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, when we talk about who's better, Michael, LeBron, gotta go with Mike. And then when I say Kobe, he's the closest thing to Mike.
I mean, style wise, there is no comparison other than Kobe.
Yeah, man. So that's why that's why I always say Kobe. You know, rest in peace, Kobe.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy, man. This would be the last thing I say. I was never a Kobe fan. I didn't like Kobe, and I always respected his game, but I just never liked Kobe. And then when he passed away, man, I never really thought that it would hit me the way that it did. It upset me a lot. Like I actually cried a decent amount about it because it's like you see guys like that, and you see guys on TV, and you think even though they're not, you think that they're invincible. And then when you see something like that, and then you see just like how many people were mourning over a person like that and how many lives he's touched it. I have a buddy, man. We used to debate back and forth, and I told him, I said, you'll never hear me say another bad thing about Kobe Bryant. I may say, I don't think he's maybe as good, but I'll never say another bad word, even in joking, man, I won't do it.
Yeah. I think he affected a lot of our lives. We didn't even know it.
Yeah.
You know
I mean, I see you back there with the number 8 jersey.
Number 8, and I had to get it up there. And it's funny because that's when I was in Argentina. I had a really good season, man, and my teammates were calling me Kobe. They were a little younger, some of my Argentinian teammates. And I was wearing that number, man, and I was kind of doing my thing that year, man. And that's what they called me. They was like, Kobe. So I was just like, yeah, okay, I'll be Kobe for a year.
Absolutely. Who wouldn't want to be?
Yeah.
But Dave, man, I appreciate it so much. I'm glad we finally got to do this. And once you get the academy up and running and get some stuff going, maybe we can get you on again and give us an update on how everything's going.
Absolutely, man. I can't wait to get in town, man. We get together, man. Go get some good pizza.
Heck yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate it again. Thanks for taking time out with me.
Man, thank you, man.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Stay safe.